Hi guys, welcome to the CATWay. So in this video, we are going to solve our daily set. And before we begin, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. So what do we have today is that each of five friends, namely Michelle, Luke, Nikki, William and Sophia, own exactly one distinct company from among the five companies, namely PQRST, not necessarily in that particular order. Now, the revenues of the five companies generated in a particular quarter is rupees 50 million, 45 million, 40 million, 35 million, and 30 million, not necessarily in that order in which the names of the companies are mentioned. Okay. Now, some additional information is given that Nikki does not own S. Now, the revenue generated by P is greater than the revenue generated by the company owned by Nikki by 5 million. Okay. Then it has been given that the revenue generated by the company owned by Michelle is greater than the revenue generated by Q by rupees 10 million. Okay. The revenue generated by the company owned by William is greater than the revenue generated by R by 10 million. Luke does not own T, and the revenue generated by S is greater than the revenue generated by the company owned by Sophia by 5 million rupees. Okay. So this has been given. All right. So let's say the revenues of the companies P, Q, R, S, and T are P, Q, R, S, and T. So these are the revenues that we have. Okay. These are the revenues. All right. Then what do we have? We have the owners. Okay. So we have Michelle, we have Luke, Nikki, William, and Sophia. Okay. And here let's write the turnover because some relationship has been given for them. Okay. All right, guys. So what has been given is that the revenue generated by the company owned by Michelle is greater than the revenue generated by Q by 10 million. Okay. So its turnover is Q plus 10. So, okay. Then what is it said? That the revenue generated by the company owned by William is greater than the revenue of R by 10 million. Okay. So this will be R plus 10. Okay. Now the revenue by S is greater than the revenue generated by company owned by Sophia by 5 million. So this will be S minus 5. Okay, her revenue will be, her turnover will be S minus 5. Okay. And one more line is given that the revenue generated by P is greater than the revenue generated by the company owned by Nikki by 5 million. Okay. So revenue of P is greater than Nikki's by 5 million. So Nikki's turnover is 5P minus 5. Okay. So this is what we have. All right. Now, guys, if you see that the total turnover that we have is P plus Q plus R plus S plus T. So this is the total turnover that we have. Okay. All right. Now, the total turnover of the four companies that have been mentioned over here, the total turnover for those companies is P, sorry, P plus Q plus R plus S and plus 10. Okay, plus 10. All right. So, guys, if you see, this is the total turnover that you have. Okay, this is the total turnover that you have. Okay. And here the revenue of Luke is not included. Okay, here the revenue of Luke is not included. Now, guys, this is the total revenue. This is the revenue for these four people, right? Consider it this way, that the 1 2 3 4 5 is given and the value of 1 2 3 and 4 is given. So if you subtract 1 2 3 4 from 1 2 3 4 5, what you will get? The value of 5. So if you subtract, what will you get is T minus 10, and that will be the revenue of Luke's company. Okay, that is going to be the revenue of Luke's company. So this is the new table and a complete table that we have. Okay, chalo, let's move ahead now. Okay, now, guys, what we know is that among these values only, some values we have the different values that are present, like the actual turnover, which are 30, 35, 40, 45 and 50. Okay, so these are the actual turnovers and they are among them. Okay, they are among them. All right. Okay, now if you see, guys, that T, P and S, if you talk about this one, this one and this one, okay, their value can never be 30. Okay, because if you see, if T minus 10 is equal to 30, right, if T minus 10 is equal to 30, sorry, if T is equal to 30, then what is going to happen is that T minus 10 will be less than 30, right? Similarly, if P is 30, P minus 5 will be less than 30. And if S is 30, so S minus 5 will be less than 30. And those cases are not possible. So what do we get is that T, P and S, they are not equal to 30. Okay, they are not equal to 30, right? And guys, similarly, Q and R will never be equal to 50. Okay, so Q and R will never be equal to 50. Why? Because if they are 50, then the turnover of M and W will exceed 50, and that is again not possible. Okay, that is again not possible, right? Also, guys, one more thing that we know is that 1 among Q and R is going to be equal to 30. 1 among Q and R is going to be equal to 30, right? Chalo, let's see what do we have. Okay. Acha. All right. If you see that the value of t minus 10 है ना, t minus 10, p minus 5 and n minus 5, ठीक है, these values also can never be 50. Okay, these values also 50 is not going to come over here or over here or over here. Why is it not going to come? See, because if t minus 10 is equal to 50 है ना, if t minus 10 is equal to 50, what is going to happen is, see, if t minus 10 is equal to 50, then the value of t will become 60, and similarly value of p will become 55, and these values are again not possible, right? So what one more thing that we know is that 1 among q plus 10 and r plus 10, one among them is going to be equal to, sorry, is going to be equal to 50. Okay, one of the values among them is going to be equal to 50. Okay. Now guys, what do we have? That 1 among q and r, q or r, one among them is going to be equal to 40, right? One among them is going to be equal to 40, and one among them is going to be equal to 30, right? One among them is going to be equal to 30. And that makes one more thing clear, that 1 among t, p and s is going to be equal to, well, okay, this is but obvious that 1 among them is going to be equal to 50, or they are going to be between 35, 45 and 50, somewhere in that ratio. Okay, so this is also done. Chalo. Now guys, if you see that one more thing that is pretty much clear over here is that, see, 1 among q and r is going to be 30, and 1 among q and r is going to be equal to 40, right? So what we can say is that the turnover of Michel's company is either going to be equal to 40 or it is going to be equal to 50, right? It is going to be equal to 50. And same thing for William, that either his turnover is 40 or his turnover is 50, right? Either his turnover is 40 or his turnover is 50. That is something now we have identified. Okay. Chalo. Now let's see what do we have. Now if you talk about Luke's turnover, okay, so Luke's turnover is t minus 10, right? Luke's turnover is t minus 10, and t minus 10 ka value is going to be among 30, 35 and 45. Okay, now guys, if you see ki t minus 10 value becomes 20. Okay, t minus 10 ka value, it becomes, sorry, t minus 10 ka value becomes 30. So down that is never possible, because in that case t will become 40, and we know that 1 among q and r is 40, right? We know that 1 among q and r is 40. So that case is gone. So t minus 10 being 30 is not possible, right? Similarly, if you have t minus 10 is equal to 45, that is again not possible. Why? Because in that case t will become 55, right? So the value of t minus 10, the only possibility is 35. Okay, the only possibility is 35. And one thing that is clear is that the value of t is definitely 45. Okay, the value of t is certain to be equal to 45. Okay, chalo, let's see. So we can make another table. Let's find a place over there. Okay, okay, chalo, let us remove this. We do remember the data now, that 1 among q and r is 30 and stuff. Okay, so we remember that data. So let us make our table. Take care. So we have p, q, r, s and t, right? Now we know that the value of t is going to be 45. Okay, value of t is 45. Okay, now 1 among q and r is going to be 30, and the other one is going to be 40. So let's say q is 30. So in the next case, r will have to be 30, and they will have 40 and 40 over here. Okay, and t will again be still be 45. Now guys, between p and s, you know that one of them is 35 and one of them is 50, right? but it is unclear. We are unclear about it. So again, we will have cases that this will be 35 and this is 40. And in one more case, this will be 50 and this will be 35. The rest of the things remaining constant. Okay, 30 and 40. And similarly, over here also there will be two cases. One time this will be 50 and this will be 35. Other time this will be 50 and this will be 35. The other three things remaining constant. So now we have how many cases? We have a total of 4 cases that could be there. Okay, we have a total of 4 cases now. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, now guys, if you see that we are still unclear about which person is involved with which company, right? We are still unclear about it. Okay, chalo. So let's see what do we have. So guys, if you talk about case 1, okay, if you talk about case 1, what has been given is that the revenue generated by, see, let's start from the beginning. Okay, from the first one. Okay, from the pointers given that have been given. Okay, that the revenue generated by P is greater than the revenue generated by company owned by Nikki by 5 million. Now the revenue generated by P is 35 and it is 5 million greater than the revenue generated by the company owned by Nikki, right? So Nikki will be operating this company. Okay, Nikki is going to operate this company, right? Okay, so that is clear. Now the revenue generated by company owned by Michelle is greater than the revenue of Q by 10. So revenue of Q is 30, so greater than 10 more than it is 40, and that will be the company that will be owned by Michelle. Okay, then third one, it says revenue generated by a company owned by William is greater than R by 10. So R is 40, so the Williams company will be S, that is 50. Okay, and the revenue generated by S is greater than the revenue generated by Sophia by 5 million. Okay, so Sophia's company will be T, right? This will be Sophia's company, and then we are left with Luke, who will be going over here, right? And similarly, for all the different cases, you can read these values, these conditions, and accordingly give them companies. Okay, accordingly you can provide them with the companies that they own, right? So in the second case, William will be handling P. Okay, William will be handling P. Q will be handled by Sophia. Okay, Q will be handled by Sophia. R will be handled by Michelle. Okay, R is handled by Michelle. Okay, okay, just a second, sorry, not this case. The current case that we are talking about is this one. Okay, this is Michelle. Okay, this will be Michelle. Then Luke will be handling S. Okay, that is 35. Luke will be handling. Then you have T, who is handled by Nikki. Okay, then you have P handled by William, and then you have Q handled by Sophia. Okay, now coming to the remaining two cases that we have. So here Michelle will be S. Okay, sorry, Michelle will be having S over here. Okay, so this will go to Michelle. Okay, then P will be taken over by Luke. Okay, P will be taken over by Luke. Nikki will be taking R. Okay, Nikki will be taking R. Then William will be taking Q. So Q will go to William. Okay, this will be with William, and in the end we are left with T, so that will be taken by Sophia. Okay, and then for the one case that is left, so here it will be taken by Michelle. Okay, P will be taken by Michelle. Luke will be taking S. Nikki will be taking T. William will be taking Q, and Sophia will be taking R. So now we have solved the set. Now let us move towards the questions. So now it says if Michelle owns P. So Michelle owns P, we are talking about case number 2, right? Then which of the following is the revenue generated by T? So T ka revenue is always constant, that is 45 million. So option number A will be the right answer. Now how many of the following statements can be true? That Michelle owns S. Okay, so Michelle owns S is happening in which case? S with Michelle is happening in the fourth case here we are talking about. Okay, we are talking about the fourth case, that Michelle owns S and revenue generated by S is 50 million. Okay, so the first statement is absolutely correct. Coming to the second, again the same case, because Michelle owns S and revenue generated by S is 45. So that statement is wrong. Third is if Michelle owns S, so again we are talking about the same case, then William owns Q. So yes, that is happening. William is going to own Q. So third statement is correct. Fourth is if Michelle owns P. Okay, so if Michelle owns P, we are talking about the second case over here. Revenue generated by the company owned by Luke is 30. So Luke ki company is getting 35. So statement 4 is wrong. And if Michelle owns P, that is same case second, then Nikki owns T, and that is absolutely correct. So fifth statement is correct. So the total number of correct statements are 3. Now, which company does Sophia owns? Okay, so Sophia in all these cases can own T, or she can own Q, or she can own R. Okay, so among the options, it's either P or Q. Okay, that's not happening. P or Q, that's not happening. P or R or T. So first three options have P in them, so that's never possible. So it's definitely option number D, which is the right answer. Now, this was a very good set, guys, and hope you have understood the set well. Thanks for watching the video.